This year's been a really challenging year for buying cars, with supply being very, very low and demand being really high. A lot of people have overpaid, drastically overpaid for their brand new vehicles. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a list of 5 vehicles that people overpaid so much for that they now regret. Let's get into it now. Life's too short to drive boring cars. We just have to mention, some of these vehicles are because they're just amazing vehicles with a proven track record. Others are amazing because they're the latest and the greatest and offer some uniqueness. Others are just generally popular or maybe hard to come by. But let's get into the first one, and that is the first vehicle that people often overpaid this year. What we're talking about here is this great off-road looking unit. Outer banks. Look at that heavy duty looking mirrors. You've got big step boards here, great oversized handles. The interior has tons of space in the back, and the front has lots of space as well. Although it's not necessarily the highest quality, it is versatile, functional, and feels very utilitarian. Of course, this here, you can pull the roof off. It looks great. Cycle around, you have great little tail lights on there. Look at that. What we're talking about is this little horsey here. You also have an extra set of spare wheels on the back just to kind of allow you the option to do a road-sized tire change. Of course, you have a trailer hitch on there. And what does all this fun and frivolity cost you? About 21.5% over sticker, to the tune of well over $8,000 for those that paid for it this year. But let's take a look. Very cool little tie downs. Of course, this is the Bronco by Ford. And here's some very, very popular models that have been very hard to get. If you're looking at special ordering something, you were likely going to wait a significant amount of time, and you're definitely going to overpay, because as a number 2 spot, we're talking about a Lexus product right here. People were paying 22% over sticker, or about $11,000 more than they actually should. But what is it? Beautiful. Love that new style of headlight. Of course, here we're looking at the latest version of this SUV. Now it's bigger and bolder than it's been for a while. It's got the grille that some love, some don't. Of course, you've got even more exaggerated fake vents right there. And we cycle around, you got this nice hump here. Beautiful piano gloss here. Look at this new style of handles. Gorgeous right there, front and back. Of course, look at that. Love that really sleek look here. Beautiful roof racks to haul all kinds of your junk to the construction yard. Of course, here lots of glass on top to illuminate inside the cabin for all your happy little passengers, because they will never be let down by mechanical failures. Then we cycle, and of course it has this great new look, little flare at the back. Look down here, beautiful wheels. Of course, they are a bit of a matte finish on there, and oversized black calipers here. Cycling around to the back, they have these great little tail lights on this vehicle. Of course, they also have this light bar there, and that's a newer logo by Lexus, and we're talking about the RX 500H Direct 4. But you'll notice it has these great little vents and more little accents along the back. But there's also the RX 350 and the 350H right there. What's been happening this year, you could literally get a Toyota or Lexus product, the regular base model of anything, you could get it in relatively good order. But in terms of getting the hybrid version, which we're talking about with the H designation, often take you a year and a half or 2 years. And because of that, it's all about supply and demand. People were feeling the urgent need to get their car in their hands, as well as they were willing to overpay grossly. And that's why this is the number 2 most overpaid vehicle on the market this year. And the third vehicle that literally hits hard and people are overpaying for is this. What we're looking at is a Genesis product. It's their upscale Hyundai brand. What are we looking at here? Well, first of all, before we expose what it is, let's take a look. Genesis certainly looks sporty. I love that front nose, that grille, it's a good look. These headlights are a little bit of an acquired taste. Beautiful wheels. How about the great little vents and great little mirrors on there too? Soft touch, just like all the Euro brands. As we cycle around, I love the tail finish of this particular Genesis. What we have here is the 3.3 turbo, and it's the 4-wheel drive system version. Definitely have to talk about the way this thing looks. We have some beautiful black chrome on there, and there's quilted seats on the interior, which makes it look gorgeous. The technology in the front is as good as anything from Audi these days. And if you look, beautiful wheels, we've got red calipers, so it looks sporty and it performs well. But what is this? It's a G70 right there. So realistically, Genesis has 2 great sellers in similar price point. We have the G70, which is this particular car, it's the sedan, and then we have the GV70, which is the sport crossover vehicle, which is a few bucks more. We're talking about $3,500 more for a base price from one vehicle to the next, but they're more or less built on a similar platform, and they're both arguably very, very similar in popularity because the newer style. there's a perceived conversation about reliability, and there's definitely more bang for your buck. And the car is fresh, stylish, and that's why people are overpaying for these. It's not like the same old humdrum. People are paying about 22.5% over sticker for any one of these vehicles. They're selling out very, very well, like hotcakes. And on top of that, you're anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 over sticker dollars just to get your hands on a G70 or a GV70, just like that from Genesis. So here's the fourth vehicle that's been overpaid and people are starting to regret their purchase this year. And what do we have here? It's a beautiful GTS, and you've got beautiful wheels. Of course, look, it's a Porsche with the oversized red brake calipers. Beautiful mirrors, wonderful oversized glass panels on the top. Look at all this high quality piano gloss finishing all the way along, and an interior that makes you feel like you're flying a Boeing 737. Now, if this was a BMW, it'd be the 737 MAX, right? But it's not. So let's take a look. Right there, you've got some great accent details, oversized wheels right there, 21-inch tires, cool little accents on the back fenders there. You've actually got quad exhaust tips on the bottom there, and a beautiful splitter all the way along. Gorgeous rear light finishing with this great light bar across the back. Nice little overhang, and literally one of the sportiest SUVs on the market today. In the front, we have these great, gorgeous looking headlights. Beautiful, crystal clear, and amazing. Beautiful touches, gorgeous Porsche accents, as well as look at that vent system. This car is high quality. Even interesting little clamshell hood right there. Circle to the back again, and we're dealing with a Macan GTS. Now, the Macans come in many different formats. You can get 4-cylinder engines, or you can move up to turbos or GTS like we have right here. It's featured with a 2.9 liter twin turbo V6, and it's all mated up to a 7-speed dual clutch or PDK transmission. Makes this car shift lightning quick, and it's blisteringly fast. 0 to 60, 3.5 seconds, quarter mile, 12 seconds flat. That is serious performance numbers for an SUV. Literally one of the best sport compact utility vehicles on the market today. And because Porsche has such a racing heritage, quality vehicles is what they build best. And with the performance that you couple up, this doesn't come cheap and it doesn't come easy. So people have gladly overpaid this year for any kind of Macan. I'll give you some examples. People have paid grossly over sticker for these vehicles up to the tune of about 23.1% over sticker, which equates to over $14,000 above what the manufacturers are even generally asking. Yeah, people want to get their hands on them, and they're hard to come by. Forget about trying to find these used. They're virtually impossible. Porsche Macan GTS, definitely one worth owning. Maybe wait till this whole car fiasco subsides. And again, referring to iSeeCars.com and their database for vehicles that are holding the best value or people are overpaying for, what we're talking about here is the Jeep Wrangler is our number one spot for vehicles that people have grossly overpaid in this last year. Now, coincidentally, the Wrangler also made my list for vehicles that depreciate the least as well. So clearly there is a conversation to be had here. The two-door version, you could also get the four-door Wrangler, and they're both great. People love them. They're not the most reliable. It is a Jeep product. You have problems with leaks, fluctuating idle, you get death wobble, water leaks. You can get all kinds of electric issues. How about the totally integrated power module that you can get here that flakes out and all your gauges go dark on you? But it doesn't matter about that. People love these things. Why? Well, these are historically known for some of the best off-road vehicles. And even more so here, we're looking at the Rubicon right there. That means you have locking front differential, and you can get this thing can literally rock crawl. Some of the best off-roading, most capable vehicles on the market today. But you look, aluminum wheels, plastic, good for sturdy driving. Of course, you got easy to replace rear lights. Tow some small weights with it. Of course, a removable roof, and of course, a very elevated ride height as you look down here. You also got protective shielding right here. Great little latches. And the Tonka toy look, which makes it very appealing to a lot of people. They just love the look, the versatility, the strength of this vehicle. And then inside, it looks very, very basic. Hose it out with a garden hose and you're good to go. Now you can get these in a manual transmission or an automatic, so it suits who's ever fancy. And no, they're not all-wheel drive, they're 4x4. These are rugged, and they're built on a truck frame, so they're strong and trail duty. How much have people typically paid for these vehicles in this last year? Well, let's talk about that. They've actually paid about 25% over sticker for these vehicles, to the tune of about $8,400 over sticker price. Just absolutely bananas. But even if you bought one used, you're going to overpay there too, because value retention is very, very high even on the used ones. So if you want a Jeep, you're going to be overpaying. I don't know if there's a time that's good or bad. They just seem to have their cult following, and it's just the way it's going to be. The Jeep Wrangler. Now, with all of that said, right there, you're going to love that video. That's my tips of things not to tell the dealer when you're going to make a deal. Hope to see each and every one of you on the next one. See you real soon. Bye-bye.